Frankie Lyman or his brother. They sound surprisingly the same when they sing. ABCs. He just seems so little. He just seemed like a little man. I know he's a kid, but I bet it's like he just probably weighed about $115. About, you know, I bet that was his weight. That was awful drumming on that one. I love listening to Cool Bobby B's doo-wop stop. Yeah. Bobby B. I need it. I love you so. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not even paying attention. I was thinking about something else. Sorry. It's an awful song. Why would I expect you guys to watch or listen to me and pay attention to me if I can't even pay attention to me, you know? That's probably why I have 4 subscribers. This is old Merle Haggard. If I had my dream in life, I would... Not my dream in life. If I was in a communist society and I was forced to do a job, I would want to be like 1970s country singer. Maybe with a couple crossover songs. Someone like Johnny Horton. Marty Robbins is who I really, really like. I wish I could have met Marty Robbins. Won't you sing me back home with the songs we hear? Make my old memories come alive. And take me away and turn back the years. I just came up with an idea for a new percussion instrument that you play with one hand, but you get to use all 5 fingers. It'll be an electric instrument. You'll hook it up and you can definitely synthesize some sounds by the seashore.
With Ragdoll, Love is a Battlefield, that Venator, of the Warrior, Scandal, on and on and on. Anyway, she's going to be stopping by tomorrow to share some of her favorites that she wrote. And
I can't listen to you, Nina. God bless. I can listen to Marky Mark any day, though. Good vibration. Okay, figured it out. Beginning of my funeral ceremony, I'm on Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. And then the very end, the last song, I want it Good Vibrations by Marky Mark. I think that's a perfect combination for a funeral. Come on, come on. Come on! Feel it, feel it! Come on, feel the vibration! Good vibration! Jeepster T-Rex. The Pretenders. Oh my God, I am just really, my brain's everywhere, so I'm not really into the, man, I apologize. Like, I'm having all these new ideas and, like, I know what I'm going to do tonight. This is awesome. I will tell you this. There's one good thing out of the Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 steps or whatever. Because when I went for a brief time for my gambling, we got the token the first day, and it's the Serenity Prayer. And I never realized that's a universal belief. Eastern theory philosophies as well would easily have gelled with that concept. And so I need to just start doing that because, you know, a lot of the gloom and doom is just in your head because of either you're hungry, you have a chemical imbalance, you know, you're in a subway and it's stressful. In that example, you can either use the subway like in New York City down in underground, or you can use a subway restaurant. Both for me are equally stressful. But yeah, we just gotta take it. I mean, God, if I could just be mindful to remember to be mindful, I would be set. And the first thing I'm working on in that regards is my anxiety and my temper. So the only way you can do that is every time you mess up, you just take a second and first off, you got to forgive yourself and everyone around you, and you just analyze, say, why did I do that? Well, it's probably because of this. It's probably because I feel bad about myself. You know, whatever it is, then you realize, I mean, that's what I'm going to do the rest of my life is psychoanalyze every interaction I have with humans. I'm just kidding. But anytime I don't like my behavior or how I'm feeling, I'm gonna figure it out myself. It's just a few steps away, you know. Initially, you need counseling, but then, just like Jesus taught the fishermen how to use a bait caster, you eventually have to do it yourself. That's why I was in such a good mood Christmas night. I mean, my big breakthrough was I was sitting at midnight mass with my family, and I was looking over. Me and my daughter got stuck by ourselves on this pew right in the front, right in front of the priest. And anyway, I was uncomfortable, but then I looked over, and the choir director, her name's Rachel, she's the prettiest singer I've ever heard in my life. Like in real life. She sounds like a Disney princess every time she opens her mouth. It's truly amazing. And, but anyway, I realized I never truly understood why what Jesus' real contribution was in regards to how to spend your time while you're on earth. And I think this is why he was so revolutionary in society. Not and this is in a secular fashion. This should gel with any belief you have, in the Gospels. That's not the point. I'm starting to appreciate him more for what he taught people how to interact while they're on. I mean, it just hit me like a bolt of lightning, and it's stuff we've all heard a million times, but he was basically saying, if you want to enjoy your time on earth and feel God's presence all the time and marvel and be so grateful for your life on this time, that's why you have to forgive everybody. That's why you have to turn the other cheek. That's why you have to accept the lepers and the whores. Because if you don't, what is the primal thing that builds from that? Anger, hate, fear, all these things stem from the same mother emotion, as I call it, and that's anxiety. And so I bawled that night. I went and home. I stood in my cabin. It was really cold and there wasn't any sound. And this was my third enlightenment period. as I like to call them, which started, it's been 2 years. Yeah, started January 5th of 18, but this one was just as powerful. But I realized how stupid I was. I grew up in church and everything. And you don't forgive people because that's what God wants you to do, and a good Christian does that. Jesus was saying, listen, if you can do that, the best thing you can do for humanity is do what I did. Obviously, you're not going to be perfect like Jesus, but take this attitude and to forgive people, and to not just to accept them as part of the plan. Even as a little kid, I understood Judas's purpose. I never understood why people, Judas, frankly, Judas kind of made the second. Judas sacrificed, he was part of the plan which Jesus has contended, and he didn't he like blow up in a field or something? Yeah, Judas didn't do very good, but we needed it for the story to unravel. And even as a little kid, I forgave Judas, and if they portrayed him as evil in a little Christian cartoon, I was always like, that's not fair. But that was the breakthrough. I'd already been studying how to deal with my inner feelings through the secular, philosophical, and practical advice of Buddha. Or is it non-secular? Which one isn't religious? Huh? Anyway, what I'm telling you is two of the best psychologists of all time to help you get through this time on earth and to feel God's love is fix your inner feelings with Buddha's beliefs of how to limit your suffering, and then and that's just on an emotional, just your emotions. There's been several religious people, like Christians, that have written books about applying Buddhist beliefs into Christianity. But I never knew how to handle the outside world. And now, it was in front of me the whole time. If I follow his advice, that's the best way for me not to be mad. That's the best way for me not be anxious. And by doing so, it'll be my best version of myself. And if everyone could do that, imagine what would happen. Honestly, imagine what would happen if humanity gets to the point where we all forgive each other, we all realize that we're all God's children, and we can let go of all the hate and anxiety, fear. We won't be able to get rid of the sadness, because that's just life. And without that, though, we wouldn't have a balance anyway. And if you listen to people like Alan Watts, he'll talk about the importance of, balance with with good things and bad things. We all know that. We all know we have to, if every night you had steak, you wouldn't appreciate steak. The reason I cried that night was I realized I'm finally squared away. I finally know I finally have a game plan for how I need to get through this life in the most positive way. So I can, and if I die tomorrow, that's fine. But you know what I mean? And am I going to mess up? yes, I'm sure I'll mess up every day. But if I just try to remind myself over time, you know, maybe 80% of the time I'm conscious, I'll be able to do that. Even then, think about how much better my life would be. We're all wound so tight right now. It's crazy.